Hello there, Sorry from 17 once again. This is my Call of Duty 4 Remastered Veteran walkthrough. This is all in, and this is a pretty aggressive mission. So I'm going to rush these early spawns to try and get some quick C4 kills. The problem with doing this is later on you're going to come up against some armed vehicles where the game wants you to put C4 on them, but don't do that. It's a beginner's trap, in the words of good old Darkside Philly. Instead, I'm going to show you where a javelin is, and the javelin has unlimited ammunition, so you can just kill them with almost complete immunity from a distance without ever having to fight them. And you can use the C4 here to clear some of the pathways towards where we're going to be going. This level's tricky. I died a few times on this because there's a lot of people shooting at you, and even though this is bootleg veteran, you still die very quickly, as just witnessed then. I got really injured, and the game's promoting me to pop smoke. So there is an armoured vehicle just there. I throw the smoke out, he does some great damage to me, and what I'm going to try and do now is probably push forward and stick some C4 on him. Like this, which is very difficult to do sometimes, but if you get lucky with the smoke where nobody sees you and you don't get hit, you should be fine. There's the detonation. That's potentially a checkpoint coming up, and what we're going to do now is we're going to push to the right hand side of the map, and we're going to be moving around the hangars. There's the checkpoint. As soon as you get the checkpoint, you want to start sprinting because you don't have to worry about dying and losing progress. This is a hangar that does not have a back entrance, so don't come in here. This is just a little bit of my misremembering of the level. There's a grenade. Get away from it. There's another grenade. Welcome to Veteran. Gotta love it. And then over here, a ton of dudes are going to be spawning in. So if you can rush this corner quickly, you'll have less resistance. But if you get there at that sweet spot where everybody's running forward, there's going to be a lot of people trying to hit you right now. But we do have a silenced M4 that's got the red dot, which is a very capable gun. You're going to see a lot of people spawning on that corner that I'm shooting at just there. So watch out for them. Get a couple of grenades across the map. Hopefully put some pressure on them and get ready to push forward, because if you can push forward into that corner, you can sit in a spawn point and it will stop the enemies from spawning. But I always found it interesting that that dude to my left is carrying one of those big saws. It's almost like they knew they were going to have to cut their way into this base. And it makes me wonder what the intel was like to tell them that they were going to need those saws, because they seem to be the perfect tool to get into the area that we need to get into, so it's rather handy. I appreciate the convenience of that giant saw. As I run past a dude, I'm holding fire here, praying, and I get through without dying. Sit in the corner for a quick regen. Check down here, there's an intel, if you're interested in that kind of thing. And then there's a big wall that stops you from going that way. But there is also an RPD, which is a very, very good light machine gun, so feel free to pick it up. It has a massive clip, and it's fun to use too, because it doesn't have that much recoil, and it kills very quickly. So don't shoot your team. I believe this is your team because we've pushed up. And from here we're going to be moving towards the centre of the multiplayer map known as Countdown. And once you do that, a couple of armoured vehicles are going to turn up, and then we're going to go and get the javelin. And then I'm going to show you a pretty convincing argument of how to kill yourself with the javelin. So learn from my mistakes, don't fire it quite as close as I'm going to fire some of these shots. And beware too. I died here about 5 times killing myself with the javelin because I'm stupid. And one of the times when I respawned after the checkpoint, when I pushed to the left, all the enemies that were supposed to be in front were on the left-hand side for some reason. So I immediately got insta-murdered by 5 guys. And I did this respawn and did this run about 4 or 5 times. And every other time, there was nobody over here. They'd just despawned. But the one time, there was everybody here on these roofs, and they just murked me. So be very careful on this particular run. But if you come up here, you're going to get immediately shot at as you push onto this roof. But there is a javelin which you want to pick up, and you want to drop just down here, and then get into an open area and start using the lock-on feature. This gun is incredibly powerful, and it does really, really good work here, because there's 2 tanks that need to be gone. So get yourself in an open space where you can actually launch this damn thing and proceed to ruin their day. But in the last video I was talking about Titanfall 2. That was me trying to get the lock on and then fire into the air to avoid hitting the buildings. But it's a pretty picky... Look, you see that? Why did it do that? That was a lock on, that was a missile, but for some reason it hits the thing. Like, why is it not going the correct amount of distance? I don't know why it did that. So instead I'm going to move over to the right hand side, and hopefully this time it works. Maybe I'm out of range? Weird. Once again, guys, I don't use this piece of shit. I'm not the guy spamming explosives in the multiplayer. If you get killed by me, the only thing you can get angry about being killed by me is when I chuck my triple frags into the sky at the beginning of each life, and generally get a kill, because they're ridiculous. Well, look at that! Wow, that was interesting. So I'm going to move all the way over here and fire from this angle, hopefully. The javelin is dangerous when you're in my hands. Like, how much space does this piece of shit need? Fire, goddammit. There we go. Wow, that hit it, damn. That was crazy how close it skirted to that building, wasn't it? But once you've done that, you can put your other gun back on, swap out to a better weapon, because you're going into no fighting in the war room, and you're going to need a good gun in that section. Because there's a lot of very close-up quartered fighting, and it's very dangerous, usually. But Titanfall 2 has some interesting aspects of the game that I don't think are quite as balanced as the Titans, but they're the kind of aspects that you might not notice unless you play it a lot. Like, one of the things that is pretty an interesting choice, I think, is the idea of amped weapons, giving people a perk which they can activate once they get enough of the juice to activate it, which gives them an increased damage. But because it's the first one unlocked, every player has it. So the fact that it's ubiquitous balances it a little bit, but the fact that it turns 4 bullet kills into 3 bullets can mean that up close you can outshoot somebody, but they can beat you because they killed 1 bullet faster than you did, and it can feel really dirty on certain guns. So I think that's a really interesting choice, and it's probably going to be banned in competitive. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.